you get in a position where your hands move away from your body early, and then everything goes behind you. So I hear all the time that if you roll, you want to feel like your hands are staying out, okay? That is the worst possible feel for most players, because the second you start putting a force away from your body, you need to find a way to get that club to go back behind you, okay? So we want to feel that we're going to disconnect hand movement, and we understand how the hands are going to move in the golf swing, and then we understand how we're going to get the arms and the body to move the hands, right? So it's two different movements, right? This is all I'm looking for in terms of my hand movement. Boom. That little bit of up, okay? Now, the rest of the movement's going to come from my body turning my arms back, okay? I want to feel as though my shoulders really control the inward movement of the golf club in a golf swing, right? So if I set up here and I feel as though my chest turns, my hip starts turning, my club and my hands are moving in, right? Now, the club head, if we look at that, that's not going back here, right? It's staying out. So I'm getting the inward movement from my body, and then my hands are going to feel like they're setting the club up to the top, okay? If I can learn to sequence that where my body turns everything back, I get hinge, I'm going to get that club into a good position, right? If I still try and use my hands to go back, I'm going to get everything rolling too far behind me. So I have this stick here. Come in here real quick. I have this stick blocking the way. So set up right here. I'm going to get this a little bit more up for you as an exaggeration, so we really feel that we have to hinge up, okay? Let's start back. Let's go to P2. See how that's tracing outside that stick? Mm-hmm. Okay? Now from here, there's your hinge, right? Okay. Boom. Now, I really like my players to feel as though they get the arms in the position they want by the time they get to lead arm parallel in the backswing, right? Mm-hmm. And then the final piece of the backswing is just going to be their chest turning their club up to the top. I think that's an excellent feel for you. If we can get rid of, you know, the feel that the arms are what's completing the backswing, and instead get it to be the chest turning, we're going to be in a position where we get good depth. We're not going to get that long crossed feel. We'll be up to the top. So let's just rehearse this piece by piece, okay? P1 to P2, nothing came inside, our body turned the hands. P2 to P3, get some lift in the arms and get that set. P3 to P4, just turning our body. Does that make sense there?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I think the only way to make a big backswing change for the guys that really roll it, get inside, and then come down steep is to just sit in a mirror and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and do that. You know, if you could put in a half an hour to an hour a day and just keep working on that in the mirror and seeing it, over time that will change. That is so much better. So, with you, we worked on a couple little matchups, right? So, you went up and you really pulled this trail shoulder, or this trail elbow up and out, right?
Early on, yeah.
Yep. You got a lot of internal shoulder rotation there, and it really robbed you of your ability to get depth at the top of your backswing, okay? So I showed you, if we drew a line down, when you got up to the top of the backswing, your hands, the butt of the club was close to the toe of the foot, right? And we wanted to get you in a position where you got everything into the heel, okay? So we wanted to get the feel as though this elbow stayed more in the backswing.
Right.
That was a simple feel for you. And that really connected. And you're a good golfer. You got a 63 on the resume. That's pretty impressive, right? So you were able to make that move work. But we saw a little bit of early extension. You said there just wasn't that much compression. So when we went in there and we kept this in a good position, we got the depth we wanted to get, okay? That allowed us to make a good turn, and we were able to not have to early extend to get the club behind us in the downswing, okay? So that put us in an interesting position. Like, you like to see a draw, and you had been setting up here where you got really close to the target and hit a draw. Now, when we changed that elbow position, that put you in a position where you were hitting a hook, right? because it got the club falling behind us. Now, the answer to that was we got you set up square to your target again, okay? So you have to remember with that change, the club's gonna work way more efficiently. You're not gonna have to use your body to manipulate anymore, okay? You're just gonna be able to be in a position where everything moves fluidly for you. So remember, you have to get rid of that old compensation of aiming way right, getting kind of steep and flipping through impact, and instead aim square, rely on your body to do the work, and you're gonna be in a good position where you can just hit a nice draw every time, okay? Cool, go ahead and hit one more for me.
I'll say this for a putting ball, what do you think?
That's a golf ball from about 1960. Wow, all right. Let's see you rip it out there. Get that good depth. That falls off about 3 yards. That is just perfect. Great swing, great work. You were a player who rolled everything super far inside, stood it up, came down super steep, stood up, and just flipped at it, right? So the first thing we really went after was changing up your whole pattern for your backswing, okay? I want you in a position where we feel the body is gonna do the work, okay? So we got in here and we slowed down this roll. We put you in a position where you felt the bicep was staying into the pec in the initial part of your takeaway, and then it would just ride up your chest, right? So we got in here, we get to P2, everything's connected, and then we just let it ride all the way up, and the only feel that we're gonna get is this set in the wrist. Now I changed, you had your thumb way over here. I put that thumb back on the club, and we're creating a feel between the trigger finger of the trail hand and the thumb, where the thumb is going to push everything away, okay? That's gonna help us get into a position where if we try and roll, I can't put that, if I'm going this way, I can't put that little set force between those two fingers going up. I need to feel that. So if we feel that every time, that's gonna put us in a position where the club gets more up in our backswing. Now, the next thing you struggled with is you knew deep down in the subconscious that you had to early extend, right? So you got in here and you'd start going back and you just sit everything down in your backswing. You just roll it here, stand it up, and then whoop, fire out in the downswing. So I have you in a position now where we are getting more turn out of our body and we're feeling taller, right? The right leg needs to feel like it's going to extend, okay? The lead leg feels like it's moving in. Now, everything's gonna feel taller from there, right? I'm gonna feel like my pelvis is set higher as it goes up. You actually probably feel like it's raising up, do you? Yep, okay. So the pelvis is moving up. Everything is getting into a position where our body's just gonna provide a big turn in our backswing, right? The body's gonna do the work and the club is only gonna feel like it's coming up, okay? Now the final thought, when you start your transition, you're used to being really steep and narrow, and you're a good player, okay? Even with that old move, you had really good timing. But the final feel is that when we start down, the club is gonna fall more behind our hands in transition, right? So we're up here, everything falls more behind, and then we just rip around that corner with our chest, right? Provide the rotation to get the club back out in front of you. Now, if you keep putting all those feels together, I mean, I'm watching you, you're just hitting dead lasers now. That's exactly what I want. Just recap all that and keep working on it until it becomes a natural motion for you. Cool. Hey guys, if you like this video, please like and comment. I come out with new content every Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Thanks a lot, you guys.